Hello and welcome to another episode of the O2 Garage. From the inside of this absolutely mint condition jug. And this episode we're going to go to a swap meet. We're going to buy rare parts. We're going to chase down a very rare truck lead. And then we're going to go and buy little bits and pieces that just make all the projects come together. Good morning guys, welcome to another episode of the O2 Garage, and on this episode we're going a little bit old school to do something a little bit different. We're amongst the vineyards and all the fields down here in Wollonga. It's Sunday morning and it's time to go back to the roots of the channel. When we started things off, I gave Thomas $25 to go to the Strathalbyn swap meet, and we bought some parts and we started his journey towards car ownership. So Tom's tucked up in bed and I'm down here first thing on a Sunday morning at the Wollonga swap meet, and we've got a fistful of cash. We're going to go inside, see if we can find something and flip it out and make some money and put it towards Tom's future adventures. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let's go find a bargain. Alright, well we're back at the car because we've made our first purchase, and I don't know about the irony of this or how or why this happened, but check out what we bought. We got ourselves this. This is actually a Mark 1 Cortina pre-airflow grill, so something around a 63, 64, maybe a 62. It's actually not in bad nick. It looks pretty good on the grand scheme of things, and I actually got this for 10 bucks. $10 for you know, a grill that's, what is it now, 60 something plus years old. Now last time we bought one of these, I think we bought it for 20 bucks and we flipped it out for 80 bucks, and that was 5 years ago. So what is this going to be worth now? So couldn't leave it there, had to grab it, put it in the car. Let's go back in. When you come to swap meets like this, there's lots of bargains, there's lots of little bits and pieces, and you charge around looking at everything. And quite often or not, the prices are pretty good sometimes, and sometimes they're not so good. But the one thing you do have to do is you have to have a plan. And every time I've come to a swap meet, I've always had a secret plan in the back of my mind. People try and get here nice and early to get the best bargains and rush around and all that. I actually go the other way. I wait right to the very end, because most of these people don't want to take this stuff home with them. That's your chance to pop in, give them your offer, your realistic offer, and pick up a bargain. And I've been watching something here, and I know it's overpriced, and I reckon I can get it cheap, so I've just got to wait, like the eagle picker that I am, and eat this bacon and egg sandwich. Well, as we come to the end of the swap meet, I'd have to say the eagle has landed. That's right, we've done very, very well. We scored something at the last minute, which is, I think is going to make it worth our financial while coming to swap meets, and they are good fun. Let's have a look at what we got. So we actually started off with this, which is the Mark 1 Cortina grill. We scored that for 10 bucks. I'm thinking we're probably going to be able to flip that out for maybe 150 bucks, 100 bucks, 100 bucks. Next up we got this, which a lot of you are now going to laugh at and going, oh my god, he's a boy racer. No, what I need is I need that for the Dodge, so we can put a temp sender in the Dodge. So that was 15 bucks, neither here nor there. I also got these, which is some lights, and these lights are pretty cool because I need them also for working on the Dodge, because I keep blowing the outside light up there at Port Augusta. But when I said that we had done very well, have a look at what I got at the last minute. How cool is that? That's a Holden Premier twin headlight front end, and it's pretty good condition. Now remember, a lot of these cars were smashed, crashed and bashed, and so a lot of this stuff would have been on the HQ series as well, and it would have been belted up. This one's actually in pretty good nick. It has got a little bit of a dent and bits and pieces on that side there, but that doesn't really matter on the grand scheme of things because it is a really good condition unit. So I think we're going to do pretty well on that one. How much did we get it for? Well, these things aren't cheap, because you think about when they started building them, they've been hitting the front, hitting the rear, the front of a Holden has hit the rear of a Holden. There's not many of them around, especially the twin headlights. The guy actually started out with $500 on this. 500 bucks. And you know what? It might be worth it. I don't know. I got it for 100 bucks. 100 bucks. So we picked it up for 100 bucks, and I reckon we can sell it out for at least 250. So all things being equal, I reckon we've done all right. We've got some parts here to make some profit, but our adventure's not over yet, because I've heard a rumor that there's a Dodge truck in the U-Pull-It wrecking yard down at Lonsdale. So let's go down and have a look. Well, it's been a while since we've been here, but I have got it on good authority that there's something inside U-Pull-It that we might need to have a look at. Let's go exploring. Okay, this is something you don't normally see. This is a Dodge panel van, and I heard a rumor that it was here. Let's go have a look. Wow, okay, this is really, really rare. It's exactly the same as our Dodge, but this is actually, these are fiberglass. Oh wow, look at that. It's got a set of rims on it, and they are actually non-3-piece, so they're just 16-inch. That's really interesting. Wow, okay. What a beast. Oh, it's the same twin headlight front as ours as well. It's actually full drive. This is a really, really rare truck. I'm keen to see if we can find some stuff off this. We might be able to use some bits and pieces here. Well, after having a look at the old Dodge, there really doesn't appear to be a huge amount we can actually use on this thing. I got really excited about these wheels at the front, but when I look closely at them, they are actually 6-stud, and the 6-stud has actually had a full drive conversion on it, but it's not full drive. If you look at the diff underneath, what it is, it's like, but I think it's probably maybe like a Hilux diff or something like that that's been put in. Underneath there's a slant 6. What we are going to do though is we are going to grab that wiper motor, because our wiper motor is a bit stuffed, and there's a couple of other bits and pieces that I now know that are on here that we maybe can use in the future. So we'll be able to just keep an eye on this truck, and maybe in the next couple of weeks come and pull stuff off of it. But when you have a look at it inside, this is interesting, because see this paint here, this is like an army green paint. This probably was originally maybe an army truck, I would have thought, if that's been painted green. And this whole section here is actually fiberglass. So if on Ruby's truck we weren't going to put maybe a tub or something like that, we could have potentially turned her truck into a wagon and done like a lowered hot rod wagon. But I think we were going to stick with the ute, because this would be a big job to put that onto Ruby's body. A quick look under the back shows that somebody's taken that Dana diff at the rear. These 16-inch rims are quite interesting, because we could, these are not 3-piece, these are just normal wheels, so you could just pop tyres, normal tyres on those. So we could potentially go down that hot rod look if we wanted to, but we've got our 15-inch steel wheels, we don't need those. There's little bits and pieces like handles, and these little rubbers are sometimes, they stuff up. The seals are no good, unfortunately. There's a couple of things in here that are quite interesting. There is a heater box over there, I'm not sure what that's from, but that looks like it would work quite well. Somebody's put a bucket, not a bucket, sorry, a jerry can. They've cut that for a tray. I reckon that looks really cool, but we won't be doing that. I'm looking at some of the other switch gears and bits and pieces, and you can always get little bits and pieces if you know what you're looking for. What I did notice though is that this gearbox is actually quite a nice shifting gearbox. Normally if they're stuffed, they don't swap gears very well. So that's interesting. We can keep an eye on that. If we need a gearbox and ours is stuffed, we might be able to look at that. Now, I also noticed that the head, the sun visors are pretty good on this as well, just on this side. I can't remember if the one on Ruby's is good, bad or ugly. And there's also this guy here, which is not too bad a nick too. So we might be able to keep an eye on that one. Outside of that, when you have a look in the back here, this stuff is all just really rare. I can't begin to tell you how hard they are to get hold of. There's a couple of people that turn them into bash cars, but if this is an old army one, that makes its provenance even better. You can see it's got like a wooden floor in the back of it, and these seats will sometimes be fitted sideways, so you could have almost like a troop carrier style. Look at this cool old thing. Crazy looking thing. But there is very little we can actually use out of this, unfortunately. So whilst it was cool to come and see an awesome Dodge, not much we can do with this one at this stage. At least we know where there's another one. So what am I looking for now? Well, while we're here at the yard, we can look for some other bits and pieces that we might need on Ruby's truck. And one of the things we're looking for is some desert jewelers. And sometimes they show up in the four-wheel drive section at this yard. They're 15-inch, 31 by 10.5R. So we'll go around and have a look at all the rims and tyres that are on all the trucks. And with any luck, we might just score a bug. And what do you know? Look what we just found. We only need one, and we've found a desert jeweler. This is a 31 by 10.5 R15. Now all we need is for it to have white lettered writing on the other side, and we are in business. Has it got it? Has it? Ah, no, it hasn't. What I love about wrecking yards is you come here, you never know what you're going to find, where you're going to find it. We're in the full drive section, and I've spotted something, and already from a distance I can tell what it is, but I don't know nothing about it. It's over here. See over here, we've got the Mazda 121. We got the whatever that is, but there's a tyre and a rim on the ground there, and I can already see from the reflection here it says Desert Jeweler. Okay, now it's really important to remember these are really hard tyres to find and hard tyres to come across because they don't make them anymore. And you kind of look at this and go, really, Jace, you're desperate enough to buy that? Yes, I am, because I need that size, even just to do the fit up, the initial fit up. But I can only take this if it's got white lettering on the other side. So, come on, baby, come to daddy. Oh, another one. It happens. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call disappointment. Well, we may not have found a Bridgestone Desert Jeweler today. We saw some, got pretty close. But the final piece of the puzzle that we needed today, which we did have to get, was this guy here. This is actually the brake booster hose that goes across and fills up that VH 440 or 44 booster. I'm pretty sure this is the one we need. So a couple of bucks, get us sorted out. So that's it from You Pull It today. Been a bit of an adventure on this episode. We went obviously to the swap meet. Now we've been here hunting parts. I think we need to get back up to Port Augusta and do a bit more work on the Dodge and get that one finalised. If you like what you see, you like these videos, there's a short, sharp, shiny one, having a bit of fun, hit like and subscribe, and we love hearing your comments as well. Plenty more action coming up as we do all sorts of crazy stuff. That's what the O2 Garage is all about. We'll see you next time, eh? More parts.